Hello and welcome to another edition of Overland Fam. In today's video, yes, it has been some time guys, and I'd like to thank you for your patience, but I do have a good reason for not uploading over the past few weeks, and that is because of this. Yes, that is the birth of our brand new baby boy. I'm so happy. He is beautiful. He's come out with all 10 fingers and 10 toes, perfectly healthy, and yeah, I'm just enjoying the first few weeks with him. And we haven't had a lot of time to do everything because I've had to take care of my daughter here and I've had work to do as well, of course, so it's been a difficult time, but I am back and we are going to be uploading once again regularly. So where are we going with today's video? In today's video, my wife spent the last week in hospital. It was a difficult time for her because she is a Muslim. I'm not sure whether everybody knows this, but she is a Muslim both ethnically and she also practices, which means that things, when you don't have your own privacy, things can be a little bit more difficult, especially when you don't have privacy with other Muslims. It can be difficult, but of course there is always a way around it. In today's video, I want to discuss with you how Islam is going to affect our journey, how we are planning to integrate these practices, the practices that we normally do in Islam, along with this long-term overland journey, and how we hope to make sure that they both are in synchrony with each other instead of working against one another. So we're going to get into this right now. First, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, click the bell notification. It's totally free for you to do so, and it will really help this channel to grow. I'd like to thank you in advance for doing so. So where do we start? So we're going to go over a few of these practices. We're going to go through the ones that pretty much everybody knows. First of all, we're going to talk about prayer. How we're going to pray. We're going to pray 5 times a day. Listen, it is unlikely that we're going to get to pray 5 times a day. Okay, it's unlikely that we're going to be able to do that. We don't even do that at home, actually. It's a difficult thing to do, but one thing we will do is we will pray in the morning and in the evening. Why? I think prayer is a form of meditation. It really does bring the family together when we don't have all these electronic devices around us and we are sitting here constantly on it, constantly clicking something. Our heads and our minds are always filled with different things other than Allah for most of the day. But when we are able to sit down and focus directly on the energy of the earth and that Allah gives to us, then we can also focus on making sure that our journey ahead goes as smoothly as possible. So we are going to pray in the morning, we're going to pray in the evening. This is something that I've done pretty much all my life. So and it has really helped me to focus myself throughout my entire life as well. So this is something I really look forward to. I also look forward to being with the family together anyway. There's going to be precious little to keep us occupied on this massive journey. So it's going to be really enjoyable to perhaps even learn more about Allah and his preachings. The second one is Ramadan. Everybody knows about Ramadan. It is the holy month of Ramadan. So for an entire month, what we do is we don't eat or drink during daylight hours. Now, of course, this is going to be very difficult for us. Why? Because we need to stay hydrated during the day. We're going to countries that are substantially warmer than Europe, where we are at this present moment, and we're going to be driving. We're going to need to concentrate. We're not going to drink and we're not going to eat. So we're going to be hungry and we're going to be thirsty whilst operating rather heavy machinery, driving through roads that we've never been through before. This can ultimately be quite dangerous. So what way are we going to work around it? Well, the only way we can work around it is on that month, which falls in March. We need to be very careful with the amount of time that we drive for. We're going to keep our driving hours in the early morning. I think we're going to do that for the month of March because it's going to be much cooler, substantially cooler, which means we're going to be able to hydrate ourselves before sunrise, right? We're going to make sure that whatever we drink, the water that we drink, it has an isotonic solution, which means we're going to add a little bit of salt basically into our water to make sure that our bodies has an easier job of retaining those fluids. So we're going to drink that water, and then we're going to head off straight away during the early morning hours, which means we don't have the full blaze of the sun upon us, which I think is going to make things a lot more easier and a lot safer, because we're not going to be operating heavy machinery during the daylight hours with the sun beaming on us whilst we are hungry and thirsty. It's a shame, it is a big shame, because we prefer to drive at night anyway. There's no traffic at night, you know, traffic is lower. But of course, you know, it's easy to say that here in Europe, but it's almost virtually very, very difficult and much more dangerous to drive during the nighttime hours, not just because criminality is a lot more apparent during the nighttime hours in Africa, but also you have animals that are the size of large vehicles. And if you crash into these animals, well, not only will you destroy your car, but the animal may get up and do something to you afterwards as well. Yeah, so it really is that difficult. So we need to be very careful and make sure that we limit the amount of driving that we do during the holy month of Ramadan. Perhaps another Islamic tradition which most people may not know about is the tradition of zakat, giving zakat. What is giving zakat? Giving zakat is the act of giving donations or giving away your time, your energy to a good cause within the community. Of course, this could be any community. It doesn't have to just be an Islamic community, but of course, there are many Muslims around the world who are struggling. And of course, it is good for us to do something for those people. We are doing something for the people of Africa in general. We're not just going to be, you know, putting these people into little boxes. There's no point in us doing that. We just want to make sure that we are able to affect positively all those people that we meet along the way. We already have our organization STEM Africa, which is there to help all Africans to continue their education in the STEM field industries, and also to find jobs in STEM field industries and to stay in STEM field education. So I really do think we've got zakat undercover. That's not going to be a problem. This journey is basically one big zakat. And of course, there is also the pilgrimage to Mecca. Now, for us, this is, I mean, I would love to do something like this. It's not going to happen next year because, of course, we're not going to be in Saudi Arabia during March of next year, because we're not going to be in Saudi Arabia during March of next year. So many people may not know the pilgrimage to Mecca, but this is a journey that all Muslims need to take at least once in their lifetime. This is something that I would love to do for this family, but of course it can only happen at a certain time each year, and I think it'd be really good for us to actually do this. Perhaps not next year, but the year afterwards. I think it would be something very exciting for us to do as a family, that would bring us together, that would enable us to say that we have done something to solidify our faith in the eyes of Allah. I think this is something we must do. And whilst we're on this journey, when we're coming back up through East Africa, I had no intention of going through Saudi Arabia, but if it falls at the right time of the year and everything is okay, then why not? Why not take that opportunity to do something which would be so blessed for us? Why not do it? I think it's something that we need to look into, definitely. And I'm not sure when the next time it's going to be. I need to look into this, but this is definitely something we're going to look into. And if we can, you know, intersect these 2 points, our time along with the time in which we're supposed to go, why not? So guys, those are some of the Islamic practices which can affect our long-term overland journey. I really do believe that there are a lot more positives than negatives to overlanding with Islam. I would welcome anybody to do the same. Islam it's a touchy subject with some Muslims. I would strongly urge you, if you're going to talk about it with somebody, speak to somebody who is a leader in the community. And yeah, I have my grievances with some of the people who do practice Islam and who see it as a burden because they were brought up in it. Islam is one of the most beautiful religions on this planet, and I really hope that a lot more people can look past the media and the way it has been demonized in the media, and perhaps see the beauty of it, and maybe it will affect you in a positive way too someday. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.